Hey, you've seen Overboard, right? The 1987 film
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
with Kurt Russell,
Yeah, and Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn. Did you like that movie?
Well, I'll tell you, Calden. It wasn't my favorite movie,
Mm.
but it was my least favorite movie.
Uh-huh. That's not too
Um,
bad as far as things go. Let me tell you one thing that bothered me about the movie beyond
Everything.
there's no part of the movie that doesn't bother me, but one of the parts is how Kurt Russell's nipples were trying to just do devious things to my eyes the entire time I watched this movie. And like just physically how they looked, I don't know what was wrong with them, but they were like particularly like dimpled. Like they looked like a full-on hard rocked dry pimple that needed to be popped. So the entire time I was watching Kurt Russell's nipples, I wanted to pop them.
I mean, I don't think we need to shame his nipples. We
No, we
all have
don't.
nipples.
Yeah, no, we don't. We
Well,
don't.
I was more concerned about the need for them to be exposed the whole movie. I don't understand why I needed to see them the
Yeah.
entire movie. I'm not finding this character attractive. I
No.
mean, Kurt Russell is attractive,
Kurt
but
Russell, something interesting about Kurt Russell, how he
okay.
looks. When I was looking at Kurt Russell be Kurt Russell, I was like, I feel like I've seen someone who looks like him before. And what I realized was I wasn't thinking of one person. I, for some reason, created this grotesque Frankensteinian hodgepodge of thousands of human beings, and they made Kurt Russell as the equilibrium between them all. Like, Kurt Russell has a little bit of everybody in him, I feel. There's just a tiny part of his body that exists in every other human.
He does kind of look like the all-American man, doesn't
Yeah,
he? Like
yeah.
he's just and the dimples. He's cute. He's a cute man. But um yeah, his character, Dean, I don't have anything good to say about him. I it baffles me. I watched this on Amazon Prime. Over 9,000 people rated it. It got guess how many stars it was given?
I'm gonna guess. Wait, you're talking on Amazon?
Yeah, on Amazon Prime. How many stars do you think it was
Oh,
rated?
most movies get like 4.
5 stars.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
Although,
yeah.
yeah,
Amazon
although on
reviews are people who want to watch or who liked the movie and watch it again. So it's sort of like it's their fan base that's watching the movie and rating it. To be fair, but you're right. That is still how is there even a fan base for this movie?
I don't think there should be over 9,000 people that like that movie that much. And although it did only get like 45% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was looking at it and it said as great as Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell are, is creepy.
It
That's
is
a creepy
100%
movie.
is very it honestly it reminds me a little bit of you ever watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No, I haven't.
Well, essentially, at one point in the movie, a character gets abducted, and they try to and put into this like hillbilly cannibal family, and the cannibal family is trying to make her be like a part, like forcing her to be a part of the family. And I was like, this is when I was watching the Overboard, I was like, this is basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I'm I am so angry. So much anger about this movie. Now, I love cheesy movies. I love stupid movies. I'm not asking for highbrow film here,
Yeah.
but it was offensive
Hmm.
and hugely like macho and horrible to women. And I just, they're like, remember how you said you don't like movies, rom-coms that start with they don't like each other and
You're totally
there's
right.
that kind of yeah, that was this movie. And not only did I not want them together, I was rooting for them not to be together. I would much rather have her end up with her husband who left her when he learned that she had amnesia, which by the way, that's not
For a
that doesn't
particular aspect of her life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did a little research on amnesia
Mm,
and just on a little WebMD. But that doesn't, you don't lose your whole personality. Like her, when she first started, right? She was, well, when the movie first starts, she was very prissy,
yeah.
snobby, and then she falls overboard and gets amnesia, and then Buttface, what's his name? Dean comes and is like, "Oh, you're my wife," because he was mad at her.
Mm,
He called her a bitch,
mm,
and she was being bitchy, sure, because
yeah.
she had hired him to be a carpenter and whatever. That was their whole interaction.
I felt like this movie was written by some dude named like Phil McBuck, and he was sitting on his ranch chair and was like, "I want a movie with beer, tits, cars, and bikes. It's gonna be fucking awesome." And he was just writing shit about like hate wife, wife bad, hate wife. What if we get back at wife? Also beer's cool, and like whole movie was just
Well, okay, what is this premise? So this man is mad at this woman who hired him to do a job. And so when she gets amnesia, he goes and says, "Oh, not only is your name not Joanna, it's Annie. I'm going to make up a name for you. And then I'm going to tell you that your mother is dead and your father's in prison." So to like totally cutting her off from all people in her life.
Mhm.
This is like wicked Stockholm syndrome. And oh, you're my wife, because he had 4 kids that he had to take care of by himself. And it makes her like a slave, and then she won't sleep with him, so he's like, "You have to go sleep on the couch." I'm like, what an ass.
While he's
And then
drunk.
while he's drunk, and we're like, "Oh, yeah, well, she wasn't nice to him in the beginning." Okay, in no way is that equal. Like, and then we're supposed to believe that like she comes to like these kids and and be a part of the family. She's a completely different person than she was in the beginning. That is not realistic to me. And then the thing that bothers me almost the most, well, second most, is that the father, Dean, convinces the kids to go along with the plan. He is like the worst parent.
Yeah, the kids were not good. Yeah, I mean like I also love that it was so easy for the police station to just be like, "Sure, if you want to consider yourself her husband, we'll let you." and,
Oh,
and when
because his evidence was that she had a tattoo on her butt
yeah,
because
and they're
he's
like, "Ah, you must be her fucking husband then." Not even gonna question it. Whole time they were like, "I don't know, man. We'd love for you to get her off our hands." Like, is that how the police work?
I think it was like the hospital she
Yeah,
was
you're
at.
right. It was like the psychiatric ward or something like that. She was,
Yeah,
yeah,
regardless, not good. Not
right.
good.
Not good. Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
yeah. And then her real husband was like,
Lorelai's
"Oh, good."
father.
Yeah, Lorelai's father. What's his name? Edward or Herman something. Edward Herman. Okay. Was like, "Yeah, I don't know who she is." Which that's scummy of him, sure, but still nothing compared to this Dean guy.
Yeah.
And then of course they fall in love. But Dean like sleeps with her while she's still thinking that she's this woman named Annie and has 4 kids and this loving husband.
Mm.
Not okay with that. And then she wakes up and one of the kids doesn't have much of tits, but has a great ass. And that's supposed to be a funny, endearing moment in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. Cue laughter.
Awful. This was an 80s movie.
Mm.
And maybe you could say, "Oh, it was a different time." But Mystic Pizza was an 80s movie. And we'll talk about that another week, but not even in the same league. Um,
I mean, like, it's difficult for me to talk about individual parts. The whole movie just blew ass.
Oh, you know what? I wrote down things I liked about it. Now,
Oh,
here's the thing. I wrote 5 pages of notes on this. I
holy
was
shit.
I was so mad. I was like furiously jotting down thoughts, but the part that says the things I like about it was like 3 lines. I was really trying for something. So, here are the good parts. Ready? Randy Newman song at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
While the credits are running. Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked that.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
And I liked that the little boys wanted a mom and they wanted her back. That was sweet.
Yeah.
And there was one part when Dean calls his son honey. Now, I think especially because he's this whole, again, like this machismo, macho kind of,
Mm.
I don't know. That was kind of out of character, and it was sort of sweet to see that softer side of him.
Mm.
But that was it. That were all the positives that I can give you.
Yeah.
How about you? Was there anything any
My
trickle of that you
my favorite
liked?
part? My favorite part was that I was able to watch the whole movie for free on YouTube, split into 12 parts, and that on one of the videos, one of the comments below was repeated 3 times, and it was this guy named like Ubuwa who kept saying, "Goldie has such beautiful eyes. Goldie has such beautiful eyes. Goldie has such beautiful eyes." That part was fucking awesome.
She does. Actually, the acting was good. I thought that they did a good job. But then I was like, Gary Marshall directed this. I mean, thought that he could have done it. Come on, Gary.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. I feel like too much money was put into this film for what it came out to be.
How much money was put into it?
Oh, I'm not sure, but I could
Oh.
tell like not nothing, and that's how much money should have been used for this. Yeah, for making movies about like female leads often in Gary Marshall's films, you'd think. He does these Princess Diaries, Runaway Bride, Pretty Woman. But
Yeah, and I'm not saying he creates amazing female leads.
no.
But could have been better. This was not really a female lead. It seemed more about him, and even like, I mean, and there's just some serious neglect about him as a father, that really bothered me, being a parent, and he even says to the principal, like, I'm not a bad father. Yes, you are.
Kind of is.
Your
Yeah.
children are left home alone for I don't even know how many hours a day. The youngest, who's like 6 or 7, doesn't even know how to read because you haven't tried teaching him. Nobody's fed properly. What part of you thinks and you're bringing in some stranger into the house and showing all of your sons that it's okay to treat a woman like this?
I think the
What
only
part of
thing
you?
that the movie tries to make light of for Kurt Russell's character is that he works jobs.
Yeah,
like,
she
hey,
thinks
the as bad as he might be, and he might not be a great father, all right? He might just be an adult man that lives in the same household as children. That might be more of a better way to describe his relationship with those kids. But regardless, he works jobs, so you cannot fault him for that. But
oh yeah,
like,
well she's
who the
she's
fuck
thinking
doesn't
that
work jobs? I
I
don't
know
understand
she's
why
thinking.
that's.
Well, right, exactly. That was the thing that was supposed to endear us to him. That she thought that he was out with his buddies all night, drinking and bowling, but actually he was working another job. We're supposed to go, oh, what a good man.
Now I love Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell, come be my husband. Be the father of my children. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for her birthday, he gets her a washing machine.
Yeah.
And then expects her to be grateful because it's expensive.
Mm.
I hate him. I hate every part of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, the budget on this movie is $26 million, and I don't know where $26 million was needed.
Maybe
other
just
than...
to pay the cast.
Yeah, for real.
Because it was a good cast.
Yeah, they had boats.
Mm,
They had some expensive looking settings.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Did you notice? So at one point, she's thinking that she's married to Dean, and that her name is Annie, which I don't even know where he got that name from, but anyway. And she says, tell me something nice, or tell me something sweet. And then like this sweet music plays, like,
Yep.
while he makes up a complete lie about how they met. What did he say? Oh, she goes, tell me something about my old life. And he's like, well, you gave someone the Heimlich after they were choking on a hot dog. And
Yeah,
I guess
really
that's
sweet.
how they met. And she thought that was so sweet of him. Like, Calden, what am I missing? I thought that was horrible that he's lying to her. Why? What should I be feeling?
I don't know. To me, this movie felt like it was geared towards the people who think like ball and chain humor is fucking hilarious. People who are like, yo, making fun of my spouse is the funniest shit in the world. For some reason, that demographic of old people felt like what this movie was all about.
Yeah, that's fair.
And what really is her character arc? It's merely it's basically just trying to accept Kurt Russell's character. And Kurt Russell's character arc is just he thinks of her more as a wife than as a fun slave playmate. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just weird character arcs.
Well, and it's almost like we're supposed to believe that's what she ought to be. Because they actually even said in the beginning, she was saying, "Oh, you know, her husband, he wants to have kids, but no, I don't want to have kids." So the fact that she then wants to become a mother, yeah, you're right. There's that layer too. A woman ought to want to be a mother. She ought to want to have a husband and provide for the family. So now we're supposed to think better of her. And when she gets her memory back and she's trying to be on the yacht again with her husband and her mother, now she's drinking beer.
Mm.
Did you notice that? Doesn't want caviar. And they're all, it's just, yeah, you're right. There is no good character arcs there. And, the goal is for her to forget who she ever was, because that was clearly a horrible person. But we're supposed to be okay with him as a person. It's not just, oh, he made a bad judgment call. What kind of person thinks it's okay to treat another person like that?
Yeah. I think a good way to describe how I feel about this movie is that if at any point during the movie this huge 18-wheeler kind of obscurely just made its way into scene and ran over all of the cast, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, be to like poo-poo over people who think it's cute, because Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell do have great chemistry. They're amazing. They did a great job on in this role, and it was well acted, I think. So I get it. But I think if you don't think too much about it and think, wait, what's happening in this movie, then maybe it would be enjoyable. But I just feel like my jaw was hanging open the entire movie. Like, what the hell am I watching?
It felt like a lot of the script for the beginning of the movie got inspiration from like just straight up pornography in the 80s or 70s. Like the whole thing at the beginning of the movie just felt like it was because Goldie Hawn's character is like, this caviar needs to be round and hard. And Kurt Russell's looking at her like, shoo-wee, my tape measure is about to bust. And everything about the beginning of this movie was just like,
oh, and her butt cheeks are straight out hanging out,
hanging
and she's
out.
leaning over for no reason. I don't even know why, except because then he saw the tattoo on her butt and could later say that he knows her.
Right,
there was no reason for it.
Yeah.
It was just a way for him to objectify her and hate her at the same time. It was my fave. So how would you rate this movie?
Probably give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and 2. I'm gonna 2 it.
Yeah.
So, Practical Magic's first for me. About Time and Lovebirds Overboard is way at the bottom. Way at the bottom.
Yeah. So that's what, 5 in total for a combined score. That's some heavy numbers right there.
And you are About Time is first, Lovebirds is second, Practical Magic is third, and then Overboard. Is what I'm assuming. How much of a gap between, like, how much better of a movie would you say Practical Magic is than Overboard? I mean, I know you gave it like 3.5 stars more, but
I'd say it's the difference between like Gary Marshall directing Apocalypse Now and the actual Francis Ford Coppola directing Apocalypse Now.
Oh yeah, that's quite a gap. This was fun. Let's watch. I can't wait for our next movie.
Oh, for Mystic Pizza? Fuck yeah.